Congress was able to get, supposedly, the IG or the Justice Department and FBI found new page Strzok text messages that confirm basically as the frame, a media leak strategy. Strzok literally writes, we have a media leak strategy. Now Strzok's lawyer says, and this is all of course about leaking stuff about the Trump team, specifically the Carter Page FISA warrant, which at the time its very existence was classified. When we asked for the information about the Carter Page FISA warrant, you know what the government told us? We can't confirm or deny it because it's classified. Yet the Obama gang leaked it to the New York Times, it looks like, and to the Washington Post. So you have essential confirmation that there was, that the deep state under the Obama administration at the top levels was in a desperate effort to leak information, including classified information, to derail the Trump campaign. Again, this is at the same time, remember, they're protecting Hillary Clinton from the consequences of her illicit activity with emails and the resulting national security crimes. So these text messages are dribbling out, and as I started to say, these text messages are only coming out now because they were supposedly found, because they initially were not, they were lost. And you may recall I said, don't believe that they're lost. They're just being hidden, which I suspect is still the case. And of course, Judicial Watch is on it independently. Congress just gets what it gets, and they got to be happy with it. But when you're in court, like Judicial Watch is, you're holding at least the agencies to account for any withholdings, to make sure the search has been appropriate, and just making sure there's regular order in the way the agencies are producing records, as opposed to the political circus that goes on in fights between the executive branch and the legislative branch. You see that with the lawlessness of Senator Booker on the congressional side, and the lawlessness of the DOJ and the FBI in withholding information and subpoenaed information from the House. It goes on both sides. This is why Judicial Watch is your best bet for government accountability and transparency, at least at this stage of the game. Because we're right in the middle, we're just using the courts and we're on equal footing with the agencies in getting records. And to that end, we've sued for all Strzok page messages and emails and things like that. Now the government, this Justice Department and FBI, are slow rolling the release of these records to Judicial Watch. They want incredibly up to the year 2020 to release them all. Or at least release the documents they want to release to us. Then the fight begins as to what they withheld. So it's even worse than that. If this Justice Department and this FBI get their way, and right now they are getting their way, we will be fighting about page Strzok emails and text messages in the second Trump administration, or whichever administration, in case he loses, follows on. That's the outrageous obstruction. And you can bet Congress will be facing the same circumstances. And this is why we've got to accelerate the transparency. And now we know why they don't want to give us the records, because they just gave us a few more records. I think 47 pages of records. Congratulations, Jeff Sessions and Director Wray, for getting us 47 pages of records about the most significant employees the Justice Department and the FBI have had in the last 20 or 30 years. In the center of two major criminal investigations, the Russiagate scandal, or non-scandal, and the Clinton email scandal. So 47 pages, and they show not so much what Page and Strzok were doing, but what the leadership of the FBI were doing, because according to the documents, they show that you had top leadership of the FBI communicating about sensitive matters on personal devices, unsecure devices. One document has the general counsel, Jim Baker, says that he's attempting, the general counsel for the FBI, Jim Baker, saying that he's attempting to work on his document regarding this sensitive national security matter on his smartphone. He's right. So is it not possible to read the red lines on my smartphone? If you're still at the office, can you save the red line version as a PDF and then resend thanks? So this guy didn't really know how to look at the document on his smartphone. And you know, anyone who has a smartphone knows sometimes it's hard to look at word processed documents and edits and things like that. And Strzok writes to Page in all caps, and God, you know what, given everything going on, why is blank, protecting the person, the FBI is, using a Yahoo account for this? Of course, Yahoo had been breached it seems like it's breached every year in terms of having their emails hacked. Actually, apparently a Yahoo account from the guy's iPad. Make him stop. And then he writes 6 exclamation points. So Peter Strzok, they're in the middle of this. This is January 30, 2016. They're kind of in the middle of the Clinton email thing. Because they knew what was going on with the Clinton email thing. Because you didn't know about it, but the FBI knew about it, the Justice Department knew about it, the State Department knew about it. These unsecured devices. And Strzok later writes, and this shows Strzok's unprofessionalism, that there were a bunch of folks who were not read in to secure top secret materials. And so he's basically talking to his girlfriend, Lisa Page, on these messages about this serious matter. And Page responds, "Aw, it's so cute that you think this is the first time you've been wrong. No reason to disrupt the fantasy now. The sad truth of reality will come crushing down soon enough." I mean, what was going on at the FBI that these two were talking like this to each other? No one knew about the relationship? I want to talk a little bit more about this relationship that Lisa Page had with Peter Strzok. Because we talked about the bias against Trump and the bias against Hillary, in favor of Hillary Clinton the two had, the insurance policy, the media leak strategy now, we're going to stop Trump, their supporters smell, things like that. You know, Strzok and other FBI people had those attitudes at the top levels. But Lisa Page was a lawyer in the FBI, worked for the #2 official, Andrew McCabe, who had his own different set of problems that Judicial Watch has exposed separately. That Judicial Watch exposed, not Congress. We forced it out of the FBI and DOJ. Now he's been fired and facing criminal prosecution potentially. But Lisa Page was a top lawyer in the FBI. And as a top lawyer, she owed an obligation as a matter of ethics to her client, the FBI. Well, Peter Strzok had his own little angle going. And any ideas that Peter Strzok had that he was giving to Lisa Page, that in the ordinary course, Lisa Page would consider as counsel for the FBI, she was conflicted out of in considering as a result of her relationship with Peter Strzok. And she didn't tell anyone, you betcha. In either, I don't know if she told McCabe, I doubt she told McCabe, but that was an insurmountable conflict of interest for her. So she and Peter Strzok were an illicit team getting things done together. And did it include the dossier? Did it include getting national security letters to gather up the phone records of the Trump campaign? Did it include sending spies to target the Trump people? That conflict of interest is as a result of that personal relationship. So everyone jokes about, you know, her lover, his lover, and all of that, and it's inappropriate. And well, it's more than inappropriate. It's compromised the investigations and the work they did together. Because both her recommendations to him and his recommendations to her couldn't be fairly evaluated by either of them because of their personal relationship.